afternoon, everybody. Kevin Broughton coming at you from Success Unlimited. As many of you hopefully know, that is our platform here at Success Mortgage Partners. And one of our series that we do is called Mortgage Superheroes. And today we have an absolute superhero that was willing to join me as our guest. And this guy is fantastic. He's done wonderful things to help support and drive the mortgage industry nationwide. He's a breath of fresh air. We were privileged and honored to have him speak at our annual conference back late last year, and everybody loved him. I've gotten to know him a bit, and he's just a wonderful guy, and he's done a lot to help our industry. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend, Alex Kutsishin from Sales Boomerang.
Thank you so much. And the way you pronounce that name, it's perfect.
Did I nail it?
You almost sound like a family member.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I don't know if you've ever tuned into any of our series, but about a year or so ago, we created a little platform to help loan officers nationwide, regardless of what company they worked at, have a better life, a more freedom-filled life, and utilize every tool and tip and strategy and resource at their disposal to help them grow their business. And we try to highlight those types of things. And, you know, what our company's experienced through our relationship and partnership with you has been nothing short of fantastic for us. And so I thought, hey, what a better platform for you to share a little bit of your insight in the industry and what your product does and how it helps people like us. And maybe some folks watching this who don't use your product might use it. And maybe some that'll use it will use it more effectively. So
I love it. I love the platform. I love the concept. I love that you're taking time out of your day to help the industry. That's just something we're cut from a similar cloth that way. And I love it. So thank you.
Well, thanks for being on. And if you can, because not everyone might know exactly what you do at Sales Boomerang, but you are the founder of the company. Do you mind just sharing a quick little background of how it started and what your mindset was when you created it?
Yeah, I love that. I'd love to share it. Thanks for asking that. Yes, co-founder here. I'm a serial entrepreneur. That's something I don't know if a lot of people know or don't know. This is my 8th business. I started my first company when I was 20 years old, and then when I started my company, I make a terrible employee, Kevin. Okay, I make a terrible employee because I always want to break things. I want to rebuild them, rethink them, and challenge what is. I would have been the guy that would have challenged the wheel, not for long, but would have been like, "Are you sure that's the best design for things to roll?" And then, of course, we would have ended up at the wheel. Right. Although it may have not had air in it, like the new completely rubber wheels, if you've seen them, that are like a like the bees the octagon in it instead of air, it's this octagon rubber pieces. I don't know if you've ever seen it. They can never.
I saw someone showed me something about that. Yeah,
it's beautiful. So that's how I would have challenged it, right? The beehive kind of concept. So how did this start? I had many businesses, but in 2005. Actually, I guess closer to 2006 timeframe, we started a marketing company, and in that marketing company, we got a client that was marketing to the mortgage industry, and we built a really good relationship with them, and we stayed in touch. And then I launched a mobile software company, and our client there, his name is Ken, was like, "Hey, I want to invest in mobile with you. I think this is the future," which was in 2010-ish when we started development.
Wow.
I said, "You're right, it is." And then we built even a deeper relationship, and then go full circle. I sell my shares in the mobile software company, and I'm a free agent doing consulting. And the type of consulting I did, Kevin, was in hyper growth companies, meaning who wanted to grow 100% or more a year. They would call me and I would help them grow. And in that practice, I bumped into a company by the name of Rain King. Rain King was acquired later by ZoomInfo, and Rain King did this beautiful thing where it connected Fortune 500 companies with niche technologies without them having to put out an RFP. It was amazing. It was like I saw magic happen. Like, how do you know this Fortune 500 company needs that niche technology? Number one. Number two, how do you know they need it now? And number three, how can you connect them at the right time? Like magic. And so here I was consulting for this company to help them get extreme growth to be acquired. And at the same time, I got a call from my buddy Ken. And he says, "Alex, I know you're a free agent out there helping companies. I need you to come in and help rebrand what you helped us design, years ago, rebrand, re-strategize, get us a new go-to-market strategy in the way we communicate, in the way our tech works and what we say to the industry." And in that, I had this experience of seeing this amazing business intelligence company make connections, and this mortgage marketing company that said, hey, we are so good at what we do, Alex. Nearly 10% of every marketing piece we put out turns into a deal.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, 90% of people don't do a mortgage? And they're like, Alex, you're not hearing what we're saying. 10%, but hold on a minute. What happens to the 90%? Like, Alex, that's not, think about the 10%. I'm like, no, I think the bigger piece of the pie are the people that called your customers and didn't take a mortgage. Don't you see it that way too? Right. And they said, yes, but we're just a mortgage marketing company. We send out pieces of mail. People call, we track the calls, they close deals. What are you talking about? And I'm like, guys, I just saw magic happen. I just saw somebody take Fortune 500 companies and connect them with niche technology companies that may have 5 employees that now have a contract with a Fortune 500 company because this group took the time to connect them at the right moment. What if we connected 90% of those people that didn't take a mortgage with the lender they spoke to when they're ready for a loan?
Right.
That's when they said, Ken and Brandon, who own they were like, dude, like we sell direct mail here. And I said, there's an opportunity. So how did Sales Boomerang come to be? Ken and Brandon, who have built the most amazing mortgage marketing company, the number 1 direct mail mortgage marketing company in the industry. They are the other co-founders here. And they gave me the lane. They're like, if you think you can build something to solve this problem, which has existed for decades and decades and decades,
forever,
which is the customer base that should be producing loans and repeat business, but doesn't. And there's a lot of reaction to the fact that only 18% of people retain the relationship with their existing lender. If you can solve that, there's an industry that would love you for it. And so here we are. That's exactly what we aim to solve. We said, look, if you didn't do a loan with the lender you spoke to, what if we connected the two of you at the exact time that you needed each other? And you can see the industry responded tremendously. Sales Boomerang as a company has had over 7,000% growth in 4 years.
Wow.
The fastest growing mortgage tech company in the industry, but not because we're just a fun company that likes, to do things, because the results speak for themselves. 38%. I saw the most recent number. 38x, not 38%, 38x. We are seeing lenders that invest $1 into Sales Boomerang and get $38 back.
Wow.
Right?
Well, I know in just our company, we were all together with some of our loan officers recently, and we had gotten $32.1 million worth of alerts in a 48-hour stretch over a weekend. And that was just with a small group,
That's it.
And
love that.
That's a lot. Now, of course, not all of those turn into loans, but you understand, that gives us $32 million in 2 days worth of opportunities to strengthen, deepen, rekindle relationships. And of course, some of them absolutely needed a mortgage that day.
That's right. That's right. And that's the beauty of understanding your customer base. We often get asked this question, you guys are a data company. No, we're not a data company. We're an ROI engine. Okay.
Yes.
And we use a borrower intelligence and intelligence about the consumer and the way to talk to the consumer for you to take an event and position it in front of the borrower in a way that the borrower understands you're doing it for them, not for yourselves. And that is why people come to us and say, Alex, I've been buying credit data for years, but how come we get better results with you? That's because we're not selling you data. We're selling you a way to help your customer see the value in working with you. That's all we're doing. And in the same way that Fortune 500 company found that niche technology, it wasn't about selling the niche technology. It was about connecting people at the exact moment that they needed each other. And that is what we're doing here. That's why you hear us say moving forward, a lot of things, not just no borrower left behind, but financial friends. Let's create financial friendships. Let's use this platform to create a financial friend relationship where the borrower knows that you are a financial friend and you're being a financial friend to the borrower. So you'll hear that a lot from us over the next couple of years.
Well, and I think that's important because what you really just said, we've witnessed, I hope all your clients have, but it's not just a data company at all. I can buy data from anyone,
That's right.
And here at our company, we utilize 4 products of yours, including the Equity Watch, the Credit Watch, the Triggers, the public events, if a guy lists their house, that kind of stuff. Are there platforms that exist today that we're not utilizing or missing, or are there more platforms coming from within the Sales Boomerang family that you're thinking about
Oh
adding?
my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. So talking to Brett and I'm talking to Owen, and you guys are about to get access to all the newest platforms that are coming out that we're offering. So the newest platform, the newest access you'll have, you'll put your hands on here first, is a prescriptive loan scenario platform where we're not alerting you on equity. We're alerting you on a rate and term refi that a person is qualified for today, or a cash out, or a HELOC, or a reverse, or an ARM. We are literally delivering to you a pre-qualified value add loan for those people that aren't always thinking about, well, what are the different loan options I can offer? Especially for the junior loan officers, they may just know one thing, one streamline, one conventional, one.
Right.
This system will now, it's putting the brain inside your database or customer base to say, hey, customer base, tell me, this is you talking to your customers. Hey, customers, tell me who inside this base is qualified for this mortgage right now and has value. Just the fact that you qualify doesn't always mean there's value in it for you. And so
Correct.
in the future, we're saying, let's not even talk criteria. Let's talk value only. And so what you'll say, Kevin, is you'll say, hey, Sales Boomerang, which one of my customers can save $300 a month? Which one of my customers can take 6 years off their mortgage today? You won't even have to put criteria. Our system will know the criteria, and you'll just verbally say, here's the benefit I want to offer. And then all of your conversations are, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, this is the value. Would you like to see the options of how you can take advantage? No more selling, option-based service conversations. Here are the two options. What do you want to do?
So just for every loan officer tuning in, listen to what Alex just said. So I'm not as anywhere near advanced as you, Alex, technology-wise. So I'm going to kind of say this in my sales speak, because I live in a world where I live out in the street and sell belly to belly every day. And I'm not the greatest technology guy. But what we have done through your platform is we have your product going into our CRM every hour of every day, seeking opportunities for our loan officers to make more money and to provide more services to their clients.
Period. Yes.
That comes in the form of massive amounts of alerts of people that the system, your system, believes might have increased equity based on the zip code they live in, or might have had an 550 credit score and now has a 620 credit score, or might have applied for a mortgage at another financial institution within the last 5 minutes or whatever. And we use those alerts to get on the phone and to call clients that have been our clients, but maybe we haven't done the best job in the world of touching over the past year since they did their previous mortgage with us. Sure. And it's yielded tremendous results. We've closed countless loans because of those alerts, because in all likelihood, when everyone's busy, they're less likely to have had a friend of mine that works here got an alert and called a guy whose house was listed for sale. And that was the alert he got. Mm-hmm. And called the guy who he told me he hadn't spoken to in 4 years. He said, why did you list your house? And the guy said, because I retired and I'm moving to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I just bought a condo down there. I'm about to buy a condo. And he said, are you paying cash or getting a loan? He said, I'm going to get a loan. And he said, great, can I do the loan for you? And the guy said, sure. But he hadn't called that man in 4 years.
I love it.
Or triggered the phone call, which triggered the at-bat, which triggered the closed loan. And what you're saying is your evolution of your company is such that now it won't only say, hey, Bob, call Julie. It will say, hey, Bob, call Julie immediately, because she could save maybe $325 per month if we eliminated PMI, blah, blah, blah. And so it can not
it's prescribing
to call people, but it can specifically tell you why to call people and what scenarios may be beneficial to that client or are most likely beneficial to that client.
Absolutely, 100% right. The way you said it, and I'm so glad this is being recorded. I would like to capture that and share that with everyone. You came from the lens of actually being the one to have the conversation, and I thought it was so beautifully put. And so then we sprinkle a little bit of additional value on top of that. Our connection to Mortgage Coach. Now that we're at one organization, Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang. Mortgage Coach is the presentation. Sales Boomerang is the reason to have a conversation. Now Mortgage Coach is the presentation. It's turning every loan officer into a professional, delivering a presentation on the mortgage options, not in black and white pieces of paper, but in colorful interactive charts and diagrams to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, the reason you've gotten a phone call from me is because here's the prescribed value in this new loan that you could take. Here's another option for you to look at, but here's the cost of doing nothing. And it's all delivered in this beautiful interactive presentation that gives the borrower the confidence to go, what if I put $1,000 more there? Zip, the chart changes right in front of their eyes and says, here's the value you're adding over the course of 15 years because you're looking at the 15-year mortgage, right? And it's gorgeous. So here you are being teed up a conversation. Here's the ball flying in the air, sales boomerang. Time to hit this ball, right? You're stepping up to the plate. Time to hit this ball.
Here's the best bat on the planet to hit it with.
And then we put it, instead of it flying at you, we put it on a tee. It sits perfect. How do you want to hit this? Which angle? Where do you see the defense? The defense in the left? All right, hit to the right. And so not only is it being timely, it's delivered to you. Now it's being placed on a tee and saying, here's exactly how to hit this ball to knock it out of the park. And I'll say this one thing that really excites me about the relationship is that 36% of every top originator in the country absolutely lives and breathes Mortgage Coach because they say it is no better way to explain the value of which mortgage to go with. And now it's delivered with every alert. It's just built into it, right? And so
it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. We had Dave on this program. Dave Savage spoke on this program about 2 months ago, and we're big users of Mortgage Coach as well. And the fact that they're so now integrated really is a game changer for both reasons you said. It's unbelievable to be able to get some data that matters and that can turn in the average commission in America now, I think it's grown to over $3,200 per transaction. So not only can you get a $3,200 at bat, you can also put it in the most attractive financial literacy software ever made.
Ever.
And the likelihood of winning is so much higher. It's exponentially higher. And again, just for the loan officers, if you're not using Mortgage Coach, it's totally up to you. We use it and we love it. We think that it's a very, very powerful piece of software that makes us better. But to get back to Sales Boomerang, just so in case anyone on this isn't totally familiar, you were speaking in Charleston, South Carolina at our conference, and you don't know this, but I was sitting in the audience about 30 rows back, and a friend of mine who works here said, I have to step outside. Will this guy think I'm rude if I leave? And I said, no, are you okay? He said, I'm okay, but I just got one of those alerts from the boomerang thing. So he said, I got to talk to this guy, I think right now. And he left the room while you were speaking. He came back while you were still speaking. He said, you're not going to believe this. That was a guy who just had his credit pulled at another mortgage company, and he was doing a refinance VA loan for $1,040,000.
Oh my gosh.
Answered the phone. I said, so-and-so, why didn't you call me? And he said, oh, I thought you only did purchases.
Oh, wow.
He's a great borrower and a great loan officer, one of the best loan officers at our company. And this guy thought that our guy only did purchases, and to call him to refi wasn't an option. We did close that loan in 19 days. We underwrote it in-house for $1,040,000, but our guy wouldn't have gotten that loan if he didn't get the alert. So those are real world examples, and I could give you 100 of those that I know of personally.
I'll give you one in a second.
Our company, I know you have hundreds of clients, and so if you're a loan officer out there, I don't know of a competitor of yours. I don't know what one might be, but get his service or something similar. If there is some, I don't know.
Sure.
Because those are life-changing events, significant monetary changing events, and
yes.
Do it right. And you have a large enough database, you can get those events weekly. We get
daily,
and so I just think that it's that kind of, especially with the partnership that you just talked about, it's a pretty easy, not easy, nothing's easy, but it's a pretty advantageous way to go into an at-bat. It's like having
no question
the best bat in your hand and the guy who's throwing 62 miles an hour straight down the middle. That's what it's like.
I love that analogy. And look, to add a little more flavor to this. So you have a situation where you have a borrower that you just contacted and you say, why didn't you call me? And they say, well, because I didn't know. And now you do their loan. And guess what? What I would encourage every loan officer to do is say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, we're a smart lender. Like, we look out for our clients. The reason I called you is because I knew you were out there. And it's my job to at least give you a second opinion before you make any final decisions. If your financial partners, financial friends aren't doing that for you, they're not a great friend. Like, I need to look out for you. I'm the security system, your financial security system.
That's what most of our guys and gals are saying, is that exact script, and it's working great.
And I'll mention one last, and I know please. You have some time constraints, and so do I here. Yeah. One cool story, exactly similar to yours. I was speaking at a conference. One gentleman stood up and he said, look, I've been getting your alerts for a long time, but my clients come to me. Like, I'll give you an example. And he goes like this, I'll give you an example. I got one this morning, and he holds up his phone, and it's something like mortgage inquiry. And that's my cousin. Like, that's my cousin's name. Like, I know my cousin would contact me if he needed anything. I said, do me a favor, step outside, call your cousin. He's like, no, I'll just text him. It's my cousin. I said, great. I'll keep going. Interrupt me if your cousin was actually shopping for a mortgage or we made a mistake. And we kept going. Within like 3 minutes, he jumps up and he screamed, what the, just like that. I said, oh, you got a response? He said, yeah, he just took an app with a lender down the street from me. I said, you're welcome. You're welcome. He's like, I cannot believe it. I said, all of those alerts you've been ignoring are people that you could be helping. Right. And he's like, right. That was it. And now he's the biggest advocate in that company of it, because his own cousin wouldn't call him. So if your cousin isn't calling you, who is calling you?
Well, so we've seen all the stats, and we know all the truth about what the MBA says about how many people do a loan with the first person they contact, how many don't do them again with the same person, and all that. So we're proof of that. Let me just get your professional insight in the last couple minutes as we wrap up here. We've entered a different market, right? And I don't ever call it a changing market. This market is fully evolved. It is no longer 2020. It is no longer 2021. Anyone that sits around living in those days is making a mistake, in my opinion. And it's a different market that creates some challenges. There's tremendous opportunities, but there's also some challenges. Rising rates for multiple weeks in a row, rates hitting a threshold from that wasn't predicted at all. Most people thought rates would stay in the mid to high threes, and that obviously has been blown past. Record inflation, war in Europe. There's a lot going on that impacts a lot of things. The Fed's decisions that they're making impact interest rates. Do you have any advice for loan officers today and how to combat some of these market realities and not talk about what things they can't change, but what could they do to continue their success?
Sure. I love this question. So look, we all know that coming out of this market, there's going to be some serious winners, like people that said that market was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And most of them are going to be your typical players, right? You're going to look at the Rockets of the world, the Better.coms of the world, the Loan Depots of the world, and you'll be like, but that's because they have the resources to do that. Well, yes and no. They have the intel to do that. So the first thing I would say is, even though it's a purchase market, understand it's also the highest equity market this industry's ever seen. Okay. Yes. So you shouldn't be talking to your customers about doing cash out refis and HELOCs just because it seems to be the right thing to do. You should only be talking to those customers that can take advantage of their equity and put it to work, right? Not the ones that can't, which a lot of you are going to spend lots of conversations in. Also, so number one is insights. There's no question that the big fintechs know exactly who to contact and what the offer should be. You can have that too. That's why we're having this conversation. Sales Boomerang gives you an army of data scientists that tell you exactly who to contact and what to tell them. Put that to the side. Next thing, purchase. Purchase is just as insightful as all other parts of information you can get about a consumer. So for instance, how can you give your agents the ability to focus on the people that need a loan right now or a new home right now? The same way you track and measure your database, you can be doing that for your agents. Hey, agent, give me your purchase database that hasn't done anything that you've been talking to. There are people that are sitting on the fence. How do you know when they're getting off the fence? How do you know when they should get off the fence? Right? We can give you that insight, Mr. and Mrs. Agent. Like, share your database with us, and all the insights we get, we give back to you with a strategy to turn them from sitting on the fence to taking action using data and insights about their finances, not just their desire to own a new property, but how can the desire to own a new property actually support them in making the decision at the right time, not just because they want it. Right. So looking at their current finances, their current ownership of mortgage, if they're renters, is when is it time to stop being a renter and start being an owner? Guess what? The tools exist to do that for your agents. Okay. Agents are having unsophisticated conversations and could be talking their client out of a purchase by not connecting with you, the smart lender, and giving you the ability to wrap their data with this intelligence and say, look, here's what you really should be saying. And here, use this mortgage coach tool to present it. Present this to them. You're renting. Here's rent versus buy. It's in the mortgage coach tool. Here's the difference. And your agents will look so smart. They will look so smart when they tell a renter, wait for this thing to happen, then do it.
I'll just say this, that's hugely insightful and exceptionally important. I hope everyone really just understood what Alex just said, because my mind's spinning right now about what an opportunity that is. I've just come up with 2 or 3 sales scripts and ideas in my own head that I could use with top producing realtors that either do use me or don't use me right now.
Yes.
Could have a better business.
Yes.
We are running up to about 60 seconds. I would just say this. I would say anyone who knows me knows I'm really an old school yellow pad guy. That's what I am. I'm a belly to belly, press the flesh guy. And I've adopted my business to the use of technology with continued personal touch. And
yes, so well said.
There is a reason Costco's in the mortgage business. There's a reason 2 Mondays ago, Walmart announced they're in the mortgage business. There's a reason Amazon is days, if not weeks away from announcing their entry in the mortgage business. Why are they all doing this? Because they see us as a commodity and because they have all the customer data.
That's right.
We have it. I always say this, we lent someone $400,000 yesterday. Amazon sold them a $16 pillow, and Amazon knows more about them than we do. That's a problem. But this guy's product helps combat that. But no, it doesn't help combat. It does what he just said. It puts an army of data scientists to work for us on an hourly basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that gets us more closed loans. It gets us better and deeper relationships, and it rekindles people that we hadn't touched base with. So when you combination that awesome technology with personal, because I don't care all the tech in the world.
Right.
Don't reach out if you don't have a bond, if you don't make a personal connection, it doesn't matter. But to be able to do both is the people I see with booming businesses are the ones that are able to marry those two together in a fashion that it's well received by the client. You agree with that?
Oh, I couldn't have said it better. That's you said it perfectly. And so, all I'll say is this. I hope you continue to do the show. I hope you continue to interview people and get these insights and then give your perspective from your seat, talking about technology. And I will say this too, that we are inventing modern lending right now. In this day, we are inventing modern lending, and what we do over the next few years is what the next generations will experience. And the thing that puts fuel in my tank is knowing that we can invent something that the next generation will appreciate. That's why Sales Boomerang does what it does, and seeing the use. And you guys are one of the best, and your ROI is through the roof in using Sales Boomerang. As a matter of fact, don't want to give too much of a spoiler alert, but you guys are going to be getting recognized for something here shortly.
Good.
It's just so amazing to see organizations and the people within that organization understand how technology supports you to be a great human today. Supports you to be a great human, not replaces you.
Right.
Gives you the chance to have more time to be human because you don't have to do all the analytical information that we do for you.
We're sales guys. We can't do it, All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Mortgage Superheroes. And obviously, this was a great one. I hope everyone tunes in. If you need a copy of it, we'll get one to you. You'll be able to find it on successunlimited.us. Alex, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to share. more importantly, for what you do every day to build a meaningful platform that guys like us can tap into and have better results because of you and your product. We appreciate you. We
Thank you.
for joining our show, and we'll talk to you all soon. Have a great.
Thank you.